Hello, afternoon chums. How's it going? Oh, blimey, my nose is running today. Can't stop my nose running. I'm sure that's a good sign. So gang, here we are, we're back in the workshop again. Let's go wide. Yes, wide. Show me what you got. There we go. The world's bounciest phone mount. Wouldn't be the same without a really bouncy phone mount. Oh, thanks gang. How's everybody doing? Good to see you all. What's that like? That's not a bad angle, is it? Yeah, I think that's going to be alright. I think that's going to be okay. What we've got today is we've got a soldering iron and a desoldering iron. Both. Hey, what's this? Could have more good firewood. Yay! Nicely done. Oh, I apologise for any sniffing. My nose in the last hour or so has started running real badly. I don't quite know what's going on, but I'm sure it's alright. So as I say, today we're back in the workshop. We've got tea. We've got these lovely things. Is that buzzing in here? I swear blind my desoldering tool makes the weirdest noises. So yeah, this is today's biscuit. You'll notice they are already open because, you know, we cannot be trusted. Oh. So yeah, we've got soldering iron on, we've got desoldering iron on because we're going to have to desolder a few things. Got my solder fan. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I know what you mean. When the few times we've brought firewood from places for the outdoor thing we have, we've got it from a filling station around the corner and it's never been quite as dry as you think it's going to be. They make a big thing of it's kiln dried. It's no it isn't. We're over on the beach. Oh. Yeah, one of those box carting things. Oh, that is Jill. Good guy. Nicely done. What always gets me about the filling station really near our house is that they sell firewood and that kind of thing, but they sell it, they stack it up in the forecourt of the filling station where there is also a car wash, like a jet car wash thing. And it never seems to make sense to me. I just don't understand why you'd put firewood there. Do I have cars? Nice. Yeah, cool. Cool, so gang, let's begin, shall we? Shall we get started? We've got a couple of spectrums today. Got a couple of spectrums to play with. First off, I don't know how familiar you are with the Sinclair Spectrum. Oh, got the T calendar. Yeah. Let me change lenses again. No, that is the front-facing camera, you absolute divvy. There we are. So let me show you what we're trying to end up with. Because this over here is my hero spectrum. This is a spectrum that I have completely fixed. If you're lucky enough to come from a country where this wasn't the home computer to have in the 80s, this is it here. This is the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. It's 48K, 48 kilobytes of RAM. Oh, black chai. Oh yeah. 48K of RAM, although they did do a 16K version of it. Z80 based. It is rubber chiclet keys, as you can see if I tilt it. You can see the totally silent keys. At the back, you've got a 9-volt. You've got an edge connector, tape input, and a TV output. So like a Commodore TI-90, kinda. This is basically the computer that here in the UK went head-to-head with the Commodore 64. This had the benefit of coming slightly before the Commodore 64 and being slightly cheaper. Hey, HM. And also for British people, it was entirely, it was made, the vast majority of them were made in the UK. Some of them were made in Portugal. And this made Clive Sinclair a multi-millionaire. And the ZX81, nice. Yeah. The ZX81 was a computer that came before this one and was even less capable than this. Yeah, it's got the rainbow, yeah, rocking the correct colours. So yeah, this is mine. This is my Spectrum. This has all of the mods done to it. This is like my hero Spectrum. So yeah, this is what the finished product should look vaguely like. Oh yeah, this is fully refurbed. This is a remake metal case, clean keypad, repainted logo. The motherboard inside is entirely sorted. I'll show you all of the mods we're going to do today. We're going to do a few of them. So inside a Spectrum, you've got this. This is what the inside of the actual... Let me put this down, and then I can move the camera to it. Like this. So this is the board for the inside of a Spectrum. This is an issue 3B Spectrum. This is the dead one. This is the one that is completely irretrievably fried. Hey, thank you, chum. Oh, bless you. Thank you for continuing the serve. I appreciate it. Cheers. So this is the main board. This is the main board of a Sinclair Spectrum. Is that... Can I put something underneath that, angle it up a bit? Piece of plastic there. Yeah, why not? Yeah, there we go. Production values. Like that. Cool. So what you've got inside this computer is a lot of very simple, quite cheap to make components. Let's get a pointy stick and I can point at things. Oh yeah, I have an ad-free experience. Not having ads is hard to get used to once it goes, isn't it? Okay, so here you go. Inside this computer here, you've got a Z80 chip there. You've got a this is running at fully at 3.5 megahertz. So all of your the computer you're using to watch this on now is like multiple gigahertz. This is 3.5 megahertz. It's the ROM chip there that carries the basic programming language that's built into it. And that's Samsung ad. Yeah, totally. You've got RAM down here and RAM up here. Like this is the lower 16K of RAM. This is the upper 32K of RAM. You've got a bunch of glue logic here. These are all 74s. Yeah, 74LS chips. These are all like your glue logic or your toing and throwing and that kind of thing. And this wee man here is a thing called the ULA. This is the chip that ties it all together. This chip reads in from the keyboard. Reads in because these two connectors here and here are the keyboard connectors. Reads in from the keyboard. Reads in from the edge connector, which is up here. And generates the video output. It outputs the video output to this little circuit here. This whole bit here is the video circuit, is like the stabilization circuit. And then it heads off into this little thing, which is a modulator, and out to your TV. This basically makes it appear to be a TV station, so your old-fashioned, like, 80s TV can tune into it. But as I say, this is a Spectrum I bought sight unseen from eBay, unable to test on eBay, which is eBay for, this is definitely broken. Something disastrous has happened to this Spectrum because someone's already unsoldered the voltage regulator from the board. There's a whole trace missing from the board, like one of these silver traces here. One of them has been burnt all the way off. Like the trace that went from this leg of the CPU to like this bit of glue logic here got just vaporized, just wasn't there. So something disastrous has happened to this Spectrum. I don't quite know what, but whatever it was pretty permanent. This is an X spectrum, I think, unless something magical happens to it. I think this is going to be only good for pointing at and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's your inside of spectrum. There's nothing on the other side other than the hole where the beeps come out. This here is where all the beeps come out. The sound ability of this computer is a little bit not there, shall we say. It doesn't have a sound chip. It makes beep noises using this little speaker. Hope you like harsh atonal beepings, because that's what you're getting quite soon. So yeah, this is what the inside of it looks like. So let's work on one. Let's work on a real one that actually works, that I've tested. So this one here is an issue 4B Spectrum. There's a whole bunch of different hardware reviews, and this is a 4B, like that. You can just see it says 4B. Like if I put this next to it, you can see that the motherboard's getting like that there. Like the motherboard's getting nicer inside, but it's still like the stuff you expect to see is still roughly where you expect it to be. Squishy keyboards, yeah, I know what you mean. Right? So for this one, I've already tested this one, and this one works. This one works great. I've done the composite mod on this one, which is a mod we'll do later on another one. Oh no! Please don't do that. Thank you. Ooh. Sometimes throwing stuff at a pot is quite a good way to cook, actually. I'm completely okay with that. Right, so yeah, this is an issue 4B. So 1983, issue 4B Spectrum. And 4B is actually one of the good board reviews. Improvised soup, yeah, totally. Hey, chum. We're doing great. I'm doing all right, cheers. So yeah, what we're going to do with this one is we're going to remove and delete this voltage regulator here, which means we won't need this honking great heatsink. This is, what is it? It's a 7805 voltage regulator. We're going to be removing this from the board and replacing it with a modern day version of it. Start keep coconut milk, noodles, peas. Yeah, tough to go wrong there. So we're going to crack this off the board. We won't need this ugly heatsink anymore, and it will run far cooler and nicer. So let's get that on the go first. Let's touch our lucky nut. Okay. Put that base there. Right, so first thing we need to do is we need to crack off that screw there. Because that screw goes all the way through the board to a nut on the bottom. So let's just remove that. Because weirdly, the Spectrum takes a 9-volt power supply, but the inside of this computer runs at 5 volts. You know, reasons. So all of that extra power needs heat sinking away with this great big chunk of aluminium, which in a minute we're not going to need. So what we're going to do is we're going to unsolder this device and replace it with a modern day version, which is a switch mode power regulator, so we won't need any heat sinks. So let me move you slightly up and out like that. Switch on me solder fan. There's a little fan up here, because what you got to do is you have to be reasonably careful with these old computers, is that the solder in this is 30% lead, so you want to avoid breathing in too much of the vapors, otherwise you get the vapors. So we've got a desoldering tool here, which is basically a soldering iron with a squeezy pump built into it. What we're going to do is we're going to attach, make sure we're on the right component. Yes, we are. Thank you very much. like that. Wait for it to bubble, and yonk. Have a look, see? Yeah, we're doing nicely. I need to get a better desoldering pump actually, but this one's fine. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they can be quite noisy. Switch mode power supplies, especially the really early ones, like the ones you get in Amigas and stuff. Right, really noisy boys. What's happening here? Mm-hmm. Right, let's give that a little Louis through jiggle. See what's shaking. Yeah, you want to come off, don't you? That's better. That was a good one. You know when you get a good one of these soldered. Desolder sucks. You can feel it, like. Hey, cool. Right, that looks good. Right, let's see whether we want to come out now. That is warm. Okay. Soldering iron. And what we'll do is we'll get a soldering iron and we'll walk that out slightly. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it moving. Moving like Ginger Rogers. Backwards and in high heels. It's very difficult to do this whilst holding it for a camera. Out you come, tiny man. Oh, what's blue? What's that? Squeaky, squeaky. One, 2, 3. There we go. And we're out. Ooh, new Fall Out Boy album. No way. Ooh. Right, so that's this thing removed and discarded. So what we need to do is we need to just tidy up those holes there, which we'll do with a little bit of braid. Mulled wine. Oh, okay. I swear blind, this desoldering gun I've got is trying to kill me. It's buzzing really threateningly in the background. Ooh, close up on the big pudgy hands. There we are. There we go. Let's have a little look at those. What do we think? Hold them up to the light bow so you can see. Not bad, not bad. Let's see if the new item fits in there. Oh, that's fiddly. Okay, still needs a little bit of cleaning. Mulled wine, cool. I must admit, I do like a mulled drink. Like mulled apple juice is very nice, very, very drinkable. I never really get on with solder braid. Never really have a lot of luck with desoldering braid. Let's put this text-to-speech on for a minute. Like,
I just love how extra they are. Smiling face with open mouth and smiling eyes. Brighter Scholar says someone outside the other day had the music in their car at full volume and it went from jingle bells to a little less 16 candles. Brighter Scholar says ha 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 ha, that is absurd. Brighter Scholar says I love it. Raptor Cries says, but if a pump doesn't fit, braid is the only option.
yeah, I just never really got on with braid. Like in my heart of hearts, I know it's fine and good and all that, but it'd be so much better if those legs were straight as well. It might actually go in if they were straight. Okay, let's try that just on the other sides. How are we doing? How and what are we doing? Okay, where's my threatening solder pump? I don't like this thing. I don't like this tool.
Disaffectedly says mine is not good news yet, but I hope it will be after another dumb run-in with new micromanager from hell.
Oh
I
no.
haven't applied for a fully remote position at Mayo Clinic.
Ooh. Hey, I've heard of the Mayo Clinic. That sounds cool.
Disaffectedly says I am really hoping I just don't get rejection letter and score at least an interview.
Oh yeah, good luck, chum.
Rosie Cat says good luck with job application.
I like with it.
Disaffectedly says thank you.
I love the way there's absolutely no sort of like inflection on the text to speech. It's like ooh. Do you want to go in, or am I going to have to trick you into going in?
Underscore says ahoy, waving hand sign, card streamer emoji, wave at everyone, can't stay today, PC work.
Oh.
Yes, it is says good luck at disaffectedly. We're rooting for you.
Ahoy hoy.
Face confetti ball. Momacrin 4 says I know people who work at Mayo and they seem to like it. Brighter Scholar says good luck Glee. Rosie Cat says waving hand sign, card streamer. Momacrin 4 says best of luck on that job interview. Frankman underscore says bye again, waving hand sign, card streamer. Brighter Scholar says we work,
Carb streamer.
hand sign, light skin tone, card streamer. Raptor Cries says waving hand sign, card streamer.
I'm a nightmare getting this one pad cleaned out enough. Tell you what we'll do. Hold it up to the light. That looks clear enough to me.
Disaffectedly says ahoy Franklin, thank you, yes it isn't brightest. Good to know Momacrin. I know hospitals can be iffy sometimes from having worked in a toxic one and knowing a few people at another. Brighter Scholar says card streamer sounds like a fish on Twitch.
Yeah, it does. Totally sounds like a fish. There we go. We're in. We're in, gang. We are. Right. So that's that. Located on the board. Nice. We'll drop a little bit of solder on those connectors quick before it has a chance to change its mind. And then because my vision is very much failing me just recently, we'll test it with a meter, just to make sure.
Disaffectedly says I love how it says Brighty Scholar.
Yeah. Right, this is lead-free solder, so you know. What do we think? What do we think, kids? It's not bad. Trim up those legs a bit, though. Stung.
Brightest Galar says I know. It says it so weirdly.
Yeah, don't hate that. Touch those with the soldering iron. Nice. Yes, yes. A little dot more on that one in the middle. It's a
Brightest
little
Galar
bit dry.
says I wonder how it says it with a space. Brightest color, yet it is says thinking hurts my head too much. I try not to do it too much.
Right. Good,
Smiling
yeah.
face with open mouth and smiling eyes.
Right, okay. Get a meter. Put you on bounce cam. There we are. So now there should be no continuity between any of those locations. So we shouldn't hear a beep at any point. If we have, I've screwed up. Good. Yep. No screwing up. No screw up here's. He's not doing that anyway.
Omicron 4 says the good news is I'm
Ooh.
feeling better today. Dodged COVID for nearly 3 years and lost the lottery last weekend.
Boo.
Brightest Galar says oh no. The Hyperion says RW. Brightest Galar
Boo.
says glad you're feeling better.
Right. Check we don't have any blobs of solder on the thing. Okay. That one.
Rosie Cat says hope you keep feeling even better.
That one's ready to fire up. Let's put a little bit of tape underneath that power adapter. Just that
Omicron 4
transformer.
says I'm still going to take it easy this weekend.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of times with recovery you've got to
Galar says RW or W.
yeah, you've got to sort of like know yourself a bit when it comes to,
Disadvantagely says oh no mama, get some extra rest.
you know yourself a little bit when it comes to how you feel with your recovery. Sneak a little bit of tape. That's way too much tape. What am I thinking about? I'm an idiot. Hi there.
Disaffectedly says the one piece of advice I've seen from people who have had the virus is to rest even when you're feeling better.
Yeah.
The Hyperion says yeah, take it easy the next 2 weeks or at least as much as you can. Disaffectedly says don't push too much even if you're feeling fine.
Come here. Come here, you fiddly thing. Dare. Like that. Okay.
Brightest Galar says my good news is that my hockey team's teddy bear toss game is this afternoon.
Oh, cool. Okay, so let's fire this one up. Okay, to the
Brightest
TV.
Galar says which is always fun.
Hee, that is cool. Right, so what we need to do is need to touch the magic knob again. This is life. Connector there. We can switch the fan off for a second.
Disaffectedly says do they just throw teddy bears? You can keep. Momicron 4 says I did that a bit on the Thursday and paid for it yesterday.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
That one there. That one there. TV remote control. I hate this desoldering pump. I've got to get another one. Got to get a better one than this.
Disaffectedly says lots of soup and water and cocoa and rest then Momicron.
Bonk. Working computer. Lovely. Good. Good.
Brightest Galar says when they score their first goal of the game, we all throw teddy bears toys on the ice.
Oh.
Disaffectedly says wow.
Cool. So that is a working Spectrum. That has got a 5-volt regulator, so it
Brightest Galar
doesn't
says,
need this thing
and then
anymore.
get gathered up and go to charity.
He Wouldn't the bears get all squishy on the ice though? Wouldn't the bears get wet on the ice, or am I? Right. So before I put this one in a case, let me show you the it's mostly solid. Oh, okay. That's cool. I've just switched the text-to-speech off for a sec. Let me just wiggle this off a little bit and I'll show you one of the mods. Right. What we do is we cut out and desolder the board in there that's doing the modulation. If I show you the broken one, you can see what I mean. So this whole circuit board here, we just delete. You unsolder 2 prongs there. Cut those 2 wires there, and then you can remove that entire little board, which is this. Here's one I removed earlier. And then what you do is you replace that entire assembly with 1 microfarad capacitor there. And that means the Spectrum's now outputting composite video rather than like antenna aerial type stuff. So when you switch it on, you don't have to tune the TV into it. The TV just goes, yep, that's the video signal. That's a video signal that I know and I can display. And I think my TV, yeah, recognizes as a pure 50 Hertz PAL signal. So what we do is we'll put this one in spots because this is the smashed up one that I posted to Discord. So let's get this one zipped up, and then what we can do is we can work on the other one that's a little bit good pal. Hey, let's unplug that. Put that there because I mean you don't really need to put this cover back on the modulator particularly, but I always do because I think it just makes it look a little bit more original if you do that. If you just leave it like that, it looks a little bit more original. Cool, okay, so now we need the bottom bit of that Spectrum, which is this one. This is the bottom bit. I tell you what, before we get putting a Spectrum together, let's get a drink on. What do you reckon, chums? I feel like a cup of tea. I've drunk enough tea, I probably look like a cup of tea. There we are, that's the business. Look at that, look. That's what I'm talking about right there. Cup of tea. Rummage. Couple of chocolate biscuits. Look at these. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Germans know biscuits. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, they can make a biscuit, those people. They are good people. They can make biscuits. Cheers, everybody. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Oh. Yeah, so these have got like a little bit of apricot jam in the middle of them as well. Because they're posh ones. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Om nom 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 nom. The buzzing that soldering iron pump's making, tripping me out. Oh, I love me a cup of tea. Right. If you've seen the other Spectrum, I'm looking around because I think I had. Did I not bring my other iPhone in? Derp. Okay, I think I can show you on this actually. Let me just face the phone away for a second. Actually, I can show you on Discord, can't I? I'm an idiot. If Discord loads. So. Oh, look at that firewood. Yes. Oh, what? So they just... Hang on. Come on, Android. With the... Okay, you're not going to rotate. Oh, I see. Right. Eee. Eee. Go. What are you trying to do? Stop doing it. Is it always the same charities? Is it always the same charities? What is it? Salvation Army, and I don't recognise that logo. We'll do the might unlock screen rotation. Yeah. I don't know how to unlock screen rotation. Anyway, yeah, this is the spectrum that we've just been working on. This is the outside of that spectrum. Notice how it is completely trousered. That's contracting company. Oh, okay, cool. Notice how this spectrum is just completely wrecked. Just, I don't know what's happened to it, but something terrible happened to it before it came to me. But hey, with a little bit of loving and quite a lot of scrubbing and Milton and stuff, that spectrum now looks like this. Pull down top menu, portrait rotate can be toggled. Pull down top menu, pull down top menu. Portrait rotate can be toggled. Am I missing? Anyway, okay. I'll get into that in a bit. So yeah, this is what it looked like before. This is its before picture. And this is its after picture. It cleaned up nice. It cleaned up okay. I repainted the Spectrum logo just because I figured that would be a bit boring to do on stream sort of thing. Next to the Bluetooth icon. Oh, is that what that one is? Ah! Thanks, chum. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, look at this. The absolute grot that this computer has picked up. So, we've got that. We've got a... like this, look. So we've got a top lid. We've got the rubber keys. This is the keypad. What happens is it pushes through a membrane, which I'll fit in a second. These little things flex and there's like a little nubbin in there. Like that. Make sure that's down and tight. And then we've got, I think the only new part is one of these, which is a modern day reproduction of the metal keyboard cover. So there's your demangled Spectrum. But first what we do, before we fit any of these parts, is we need to fit a keyboard membrane. And the keyboard membrane is also a reproduction part. Here it is, here. Yeah, it came up okay. Well, because it's quite hard plastic. So, yeah, it polished up all right, actually. There was quite a bit of cleaning involved. And, like, dust just loves it. Dust just really wants to be inside these things. So, yeah, the reason why a lot of Spectrum's keyboards failed is because of this. What solutions of Milton did I use? Pretty much 100% Milton. I basically just poured Milton onto it until it started bobbing around in the Milton. So this is the keyboard membrane. And what happens with this is this fits over This goes underneath the plastic like this. And this is like 2 sheets of plastic with tiny little connectors between them. And when you press a key, it squishes those two connectors down. And it's like, oh, that was I, and that was O, and that was P. And these get old and scratchy and... Yeah. And these get old and scratchy and a bit bad-tempered and don't bend and that kind of thing. So there's a company that make reproduction ones that work great. So what they do is that goes underneath there like that. And there are little lugs in the moulding that tell you where it goes. Which is nice. Which is nice of it. And then the keyboard goes on top of that. Like this. Got to make sure the rubber goes in all of these little nubbly bits. Cooking show. The membrane is quite delicate. You only want to bend it. You want to bend it the minimum amount of times. So yeah, you've got to make sure that the rubber, the little plastic nubs push through the rubber in the right place. Otherwise, the keyboard will feel even more like trash than the real thing. Right. And this glues on, but I'm not going to glue it on straight away because if there's anything wonky with the membrane or anything, you have to sort of crack it to peel it back off. So I'm not going to stick that on just yet. Right, so that's the top bit done. Now we need the bottom bit. Is that the bottom bit? That's the bottom bit. So, right, bottom bit. Fixed main board, fixed main board. Like that. And then there is a tiny little screw in the middle of the motherboard that everyone forgets. This little screw here. Like that. Right. Quick sanity check. Make sure we're not going completely crazy. Oh, one thing I should do very quickly before I close this up. We'll do one last piece of maintenance on this. And that is, we're going to clean this edge connector. Yeah, there are... All of these down here are 4 little screws, and there's another set of them here as well. The idea is if you're taking something apart with like lots of different size screws, you put the screws in this order, or in this one's case, this order. And then when you're putting it back together again, you reverse it so you don't put the wrong screw in the wrong gap. So we've got this is an old fingernail polishing thing that I bought ages ago. But it's super great for getting oxidization off edge connectors. Because one of the things about Spectrums is that their entire memory bus is exposed to this edge connector. Or pretty much their entire memory bus anyway is exposed to this edge connector. So if your edge connector, anything that plugs into this edge has basically access to the whole bus of the computer. So it's in your interest to keep this as clean as you can. So we'll give that a little very gentle micro abrasive. That's better. The other thing you famously use is the ink bit of a pencil eraser. Just like give it a... That's actually working better on this. Wicked. There you go. Good old clean of the edge connector. This is like the this is the Spectrum equivalent of blowing on a Nintendo cartridge. Like that. Wicked. Yeah, totally they do. Yeah, this one's done already. This one's done so. I might get another one actually, but like that. Where are the cotton buds? There are the cotton buds. Where's the rubbing alcohol? It's there. Quick rinse. Whoa, look at that. Look at all of that goo. You dirty, dirty boy. Dirty boy. Dirty boy. Oh, look at that. That's like 40 years worth of goo coming off that connector. Foul tarnishing, I cast thee out, etc. The backside. Oh, that's a lot of crud coming off there. Look at that. Look at the gack coming off that. Dirty boy. Dirty, dirty boy. Yeah, that's pretty satisfying. That's nice. That's goo. Okay, now we can put it together. Yeah, that edge connector is much better. Cool. Right, okay. The base bit. Main board. Good must be coming. Like that look. So that one in there. It doesn't so much stop it flopping around as it makes it so it can't move. And now everyone's least favourite bit. You've got to get those ribbon connectors into these two little... So we'll kneel down. That one goes in there. You know when you've got them in all the way. And that one in there. And then what you do is you sort of like collapse the sandwich like that. Okay, make sure we feel together. Oh, I always forget the little piece of cardboard that goes over the phono connector at the back. Every single time. I think it's because I'm an idiot. Typical English tradition. Oh, I say, you can see a bit of the connector there. Never fear, lads. I'll just cut a small piece of black card and push it over the connector. Like that. So now when it goes back together again, you can't see the back of the modulator. It looks more like a finished product. That's some British engineering right there, everybody. That's some quality British engineering. Right, okay, I think we're ready to fire this up and test that keyboard. Let's do this. Let's go to that one. What about says actually? Yeah, T's getting a bit like that. T's like, oh hi, how you doing? Oh, what you opening here? So, video connector in there. Like that. Power adapter in there like that. Like that. Flip him on. Oh God, where's semicolon? There's semicolon. Working computer. That is a working Sinclair Spectrum. Sure, why not? Scroll, treat yourself. Hey, ace. Pleased with that. That's good. Let's do a quick test the video. Yeah. Oh God, what's paper? Paper is... Put this on so I can at least see what the keys... Because what you got to do with Spectrum Basic is they've got a thing where keywords are printed on the key, above and below the key. So you've got to sort of go... No. Paper, red. Yep. Ink, white. So yeah, the Spectrum's Sinclair's Basic is bizarre. What they do is they print more than one function on every key. So like say for example G. G is, if you just press it, go to comes up on the screen. But if you hold down symbol shift and press it, then comes up on the screen. If you press cap shift and symbol shift together and then press it, ABS comes up on the screen, which is the one above the key. And if you press cap shift and symbol shift and then hold down that key, you get a curly brace. Because, you know, that's normal, right? That's a normal basic interpreter. That's what we're used to. But it means you don't have to do, you can just hit P and print comes up immediately. And that kind of thing. But it does have a few little things about it, I think you'd say politely. Right, so let's get this stuck down. I think we can safely say that's a working computer. What we'll do is we'll stick down this keypad. Let's just rehearse that, make sure it's flat. Because you only get one chance with these. Because they stick. Yeah, sometimes you do need a multifunction key. Why does everything I say sound like a euphemism? I think it's just, you know. Is it me? Right, let's put IRL chat back on. Like that. Text to speech is go. So let's make sure we're all... Let's switch it off before we start probing keys, Andrew? Rehearse that, make sure we're happy. We happy? Okay, so we'll peel off the sticky bits. And then, as a finale, I think what we'll do is we'll try to load something in from a cassette tape. Oh wow, this is the perfect time to... I trimmed my fingernails this morning. Oh no. That was a mistake. Right. Committed ourselves to doing it. Here we go. Fiddly boy. Last one down there. And also, isn't it wild that people are still making reproduction parts for this computer? This you know, like 40-plus-year-old computer. Right, make sure you don't snag any keys on the way down. Because like
Francis Galar says, I wonder how the emotionless robot narrator deals with happiness.
Much creaking. Get that glue down. There you go. Get that glue. Right, there we are. Let's unplug that for a second. We'll pop some screws into it. Quick, before it has a chance to change.
Francis Galar says, I'm so excited, ooh and I.
Ooh, and I. Pop some screws, which are of course not standard, because that would be...
Brightest Galar says, keep hitting enter by mistake. Brightest Galar says, oh well.
It's so weird the way it hard keys that brightest colour. It's so weird.
Brightest Galar says cooler.
Yeah. Cooler. Hey, I'm pleased with that. That's handsome. That's handsomed up quite nicely. Let's have a little sip of tea. And then what we'll do is we'll plug it into a cassette tape.
Brighter Scholar says Kohler.
Actually, what I'll do is I'll unplug this desoldering pump because I think we're done with it because it's making all sorts of threatening noises. I don't like it.
Maraskotomu says currently an improvised soup, potatoes, onion, garlic, kidney beans, carrot, apple, bok choy.
Oh, that sounds alright.
Says better to have brighter Scholar than white colour.
Oh, see, it doesn't do it on that. That's weird.
Rosie Cat says, "Ooh, that sounds a great soup." Disaffectedly says, "Oh, now that's gonna be a nice soup."
Yeah, I would. I'd give a go on that, definitely.
Brighter Scholar says, "I would not mind being played by Matt Bomer though."
I don't know.
Maras Vertimo says, "Let's see what I'll up there next."
Okay. Here's where we get a little bit boomer and old guy. Because you kids don't appreciate this life. This life right here. This is how we loaded software on our computers. We had cassette tapes. And we was happy. We weren't happy. It took ages. Okay.
Rosie Cat says this is where you try to wrong the Sisters of Mercy as a program by mistake.
Today we are attempting to load, a classic Spectrum game.
Whale fan says, "Don't show us why our porn LOL." Raptor Cries says, "What do those cassettes sound like?"
Oh, you're going to hear it. You are going to hear it because the data from this comes out of this little speaker. So, yeah, a classic Spectrum game, Jet Set Willy. I promise you that's the name of it. We've got the copy protection. This is DRM. This is what DRM looked like in 1982, everybody. So let's power up the Spectrum.
Brighter Scholar says, "What would happen if you put an actual music tape in it?"
It would just play through. It would just play out of the tiny little speaker. Wouldn't be the first time. I've got a tape in here. I've got a cassette.
Raptor Cries says, "How does that DRM work?"
Well, what happens is when the game loads, assuming the game loads, it will give you a grid reference and ask you to input these colours. It would say like, what's the grid reference for C4? And you'd have to go blue, red, blue, red.
Quail fan says magenta.
Magenta, yeah, magenta. What a lovely name and a nice colour.
Brighter Scholar says, "Boney M is playing in my city soon."
No way, Boney M is still
Raptor
around.
Cries says, "So no games for colourblind people then."
Yeah, there was a stink about this when it first came out.
Rosie Cat says that would make a great jigsaw.
No, it wouldn't. I would like a really big version of this. I would legitimately pay for like a wall scroll of this, because this is, to any English person of a certain age, that is a very evocative piece of cardboard. So anyway, let's show you. Can I show you the screen at the same time? Probably with the ultrawide. Yeah, here we go. Right, okay. So what we do is we go load, quote.
Brighter Scholar says, "I was also surprised that they still exist."
Yeah, they're good on them for existing still. I mean, here we go. That's good. That means it can hear the tape drive. I'm going to switch this off a minute. Start your clocks, everybody. gonna sit down. Yeah, that's the lens lock. The piece of plastic held up to the TV thing. Yeah. I guess this is software piracy, really, because anyone, until I started talking over it, anyone who could record this audio and play it back into a Spectrum. Imagine getting a strike for this. Yeah, absolutely. Incidentally, this is 48 kilobytes of data. This is how long it takes to load 48 kilobytes of data into a computer. Hardcore, very hardcore, yeah. I don't know what drugs are necessary, but there you go. Oh, yeah. There you go. Stop your clock. That has loaded 48 kilobytes of data. Ooh. TRVs? I don't know. What's a TRV? For webpage load. Yeah, right. Okay, so we need enter code at grid location I3. Like that. Thermostatic radiator valve. Ooh, cool. Right, I3. I3 is, oh my god. Oh my god. I3 is blue, magenta, green, magenta. So it's blue, magenta, green, magenta. No, no pressure bowed. J5 is magenta, blue, blue, red. We're in. We're in. We've hacked the mainframe. Backseat me. Can you hear that? Here it comes. Well to do, brilliant. Hey, Paul. So yeah, this is a very famous computer game, Jet Set Willy. The story is that Miner Willy made a lot of money from the first game in the series, Manic Miner. Brought a mansion and threw a big party. And his house got wrecked. Let me type enter start, otherwise it's going to do that squeaky thing again. But his housekeeper's gone on strike, and now you have to collect items from the rooms before his housekeeper, Maria, will let him go to bed. Gang, this is what computer games looked like in 1982. This is what video games were like. You kids in your Dark Souls and your other important games, he does not have a jetpack. He's just really good at jumping. Anything that's moving will kill you instantly. There's no energy involved. This is what peak performance looks like. Yep. It's a flip screen collector. Oops. It's, I think, one of the original flip screen collectors. Doing a full playthrough. Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to the any % speedrun of Jet Set Willy. This game is screw you human hard. It cares not for your emotions or feelings. Jet Set Willy is hard. If you can't play it, get good scrub. it's one of those. Yeah, anything that touches you will kill you instantly. This is the bedroom, and that's the housekeeper Maria, who will, if I get close to her, tap her foot angrily and tell me to go. '80s hard, yeah. No difficulty levels, no adjustment for any of that. If you can't play it, sorry. I like that my head's just like hovering in the background. It's terrifying, isn't it? Oh yeah, the nightmare room where you're a flying hedgehog. I mean, obviously. Nope. You jump through stairs. Like that. It's so domestic. Like, your Christmas Day in 1983 was spent playing this. It's only just loaded. Yep, you're just here. We've been. You've arrived in the nick of time. No. Shit, the avocado. Avocado's gonna get me. As soon as you touch the water, you insta-die. Ace. That's some QA testing right there. So yeah, no joysticks, no joystick control. It's purely stop bouncing. The tune gets more and more out of key and threatening the fewer lives you have. She has jiggle physics. I saw a game on a stream today that was very jiggle physics. Was like quite dicily jiggle physics, and it's just like, oh, why have you got to do this? Why must you code these things? So yeah, if you're ever playing this on an emulator or something, there can be no lag. Can't touch the snowflakes will kill you. Oh, I screwed up. Okay. Anyway, look, I've this is Jet Set Willy. Let me die, and I'll show you. You can see the ending. Yeah, absolute yeah. So when you use your last life, you fall too far. Fall too far. There's a finite limit the amount you can fall. That, gang, is a completely sorted Sinclair Spectrum. Let's switch it off for a second and I'll show you what you do with modern day things. I've not tried this on this particular Spectrum, but we'll see. This is a Div MMC. It's a joystick interface and an SD card interface. And what happens is we plug this into our Spectrum down here at the edge connector. We plug it into the edge connector there. And now hopefully when you power it back up, there we go. So when you power it back up, nothing happens. Nothing happens. The Spectrum boots and goes, everything's fine, everything's lovely. What are we talking about? I don't know anything's wrong at all. Then you press the magic button. And it just resets. Because I've screwed up. Yeah, I have. Yeah, okay. I've screwed up. This is an SD card interface which loads things immediately from the SD card in the back. Just check the SD card is correctly in there. Doesn't feel like it was correctly in there, but we'll see. No, it's just resetting. I've obviously screwed up somewhere with the card. But what happens with this is you can load software directly off the SD card that's in the back of this, and you can snap into games immediately with it. Let me just try another Spectrum just to see. Try another Spectrum because now I've got several. Oh, that's stiff. Ah, here we go. That's much more correct. That's much more correct. So yeah, this loads a little interface, which you can get at from here. I need to plug a joystick in. Joystick. Excuse me, I have no idea if this old Atari joystick works, but we're about to find out. Doesn't feel like it is going to work, but let's just switch that off for a second and plug that. Oh, that feels janky. That feels very janky. This is like an old junk box Atari joystick, which may or may not work. No. Nope. No. Anyway, yeah, but the Div MMC is a very handy little thing for being able to load games off an SD card. So what we'll do is we'll reload Jet Set Willy. Oh, there's tons of them. Because obviously you've got an SD card full of legitimately purchased software, right? I mean, I assume that's it. No, that is not it. Why would you call all of these things Jet Set when they're not the Jet Set thing you assume they're going to be? Ah, this looks better. There you go. That's the difference between the two loading times. So yeah, these things are really cheap. I think they're about 35-40 quid. You can get them online, And if you've got a Spectrum and you haven't got a Div MMC, you're not really. Simon Job cracked this program. Well done, Simon Job. But the good thing about the Spectrum is because its edge connector is pretty much just the entire data bus, things like this can exist. Yeah, what happens is there used to be a piece of hardware knocking around for Spectrums called the Multiface, which was a connector, a cartridge you plugged into the back of your Spectrum that you loaded a game in from tape and then hit a button, and it saved the contents of RAM out as a separate executable program to the tape. So what you did is you bypassed any DRM that the game had, pressed the button, so you answered the card correctly. You did the whole coloured card shenanigans correctly. But then you saved a copy of the game out. So when that game loaded back in, it was at the post DRM state. So yeah, it just goes donk and just loads like instantly, because this thing just flips the contents of RAM that was that file into the RAM, resets the CPU. And as far as the Spectrum's concerned, it just goes, oh, okay, data, like that, and just starts running it. That is offensive though, isn't it? That music is. Oh, that's awful. It can do other trick things. The Div MMC can do other trick things, but basically this is what you've got it for. It's rather good. It's rather good. So gang, there we are. We have conjured a Spectrum out of junk. We've got two quite handsome Spectrums now. He says, not actually pointing the camera at them. There we go. We've got two quite handsome Spectrums. I'm pleased with that. Please give any. Oh no, I do apologise. That's terrible. Yeah, there we go. That is inside and out. Quite a handsome computer now, he says, nearly dropping it. Pleased with that. That means I now own... How many Spectrums do I own now? I own 2, 3, 4... Only 5 Spectrums. Only 5 Spectrums, but I'm not a mentalist. I'm not a crazy person. I just want to be completely clear that I'm absolutely not a crazy person. Only 5, I know, right? But in fairness, I've got this one, which is my hero Spectrum. As I say, I've got that one I've just made. I've got Gandalf the White, which is the same computer but in a reproduction white rubber keyboard. It's quite small. I've got a Spectrum Plus. I've got a +3 upstairs. But yeah, I want it. I know it's important that I remind you all that I'm not an insane person. But yeah, that's nice. Satisfied with that. Right, gang, what do you reckon? Should we have a little go with that other one, or did you want to should we mosey? I'm around to chat for a little bit if you want to still. Oh, he says, hitting his head on the camera. There we go. Yes. Biscuit time. That is excellent advice. That's excellent advice. Hot tub news. Now the hot tub is conspicuous by it's there. It's very much still there, but the cover is on, and it's covered in slightly manky looking frozen water. We've got authentic German milk chocolate Lebkuchen hearts. Oh, it's very iced over. Yeah, she's kept the cover on the hot tub. It's sort of like spiced sponge biscuit with like a little bit of jam inside. Very edible, very edible. Right. Let me just clear this away a little bit. Be kind, rewind. Can I have it? Yeah, go ahead. Help yourself. Oh, nom 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 nom. Yeah, soft gingerbread with apricot. Yeah, very nice, very great. What a way! This is what computer games looked like when I was a child. This is what you had. Ooh, 1984. Oh yes, yes indeed. Replicate. Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? I could just like email you some biscuits. So let's get that tidied away. We don't need you now. We won't need you. We're going to need you, but not a little while. That can go up there for a second. Okay, let's have a little look at this one. This one, I don't have another one of those voltage regulators to be able to do this, so it's going to stay heat sinked for a little bit. But this one's got a little fault. This one's got a little tiny fault that a lot of issue 2s have. This is an issue 2 spectrum. This spectrum is like a year and a half younger than the one we've just done. This is basically an issue. This is a Mark II spectrum, issue 2. And as you can see from the board that we had earlier. Let me get my pokey stick out again. Oh, okay, yeah. I like a rich tea. I'm completely down with rich tea. So what we've got here is we've got the same sort of thing. Got the ULA, got the ROM, got the Z80 chip, got the lower RAM, got the higher RAM, got the glue logic. But this one's been repaired. This one's got one of its 74s is in a socket, which normally means the chip's failed and they've replaced it. But it's also got this little transistor glued and soldered into the CPU here, which means the ULA is one of the ones with a bug in it. And like this little bodge here solves that bug in the code. In the layout of the ULA. Because the ULA isn't actually a chip the way we understand it now. It is an uncommitted logic array. It's basically a big bunch of gates, like NOR gates, AND gates, that kind of thing. And it's normally, in the old days, and by old days I mean like up until like 2 or 3 years ago, if your ULA died, your spectrum was dead. And the only way you could get another ULA was from a spectrum that had died from something else. It's only in the last couple of years that someone's made a modern day replacement for this chip, because it's fiercely complicated. But yeah, this one's got a problem that a lot of issue 2 boards has, in that its output, anything that should be white is yellow. And that's because these little adjustments here have gone out of whack. So I've never done this before, but I've got instructions about how to adjust this. So let's have a go at that. It involves an oscilloscope. So you have to, in the old days, you had to do an organ transplant, which is reasonably easy because a lot of ULAs are on a socket. So it's just a case of levering it up and popping in the replacement. But yeah, in this day and age, what you can do is you can just buy a modern custom chip that someone's made that just replaces this, lock, stock and barrel, and the rest of the spectrum doesn't know anything's happened. It runs a ULA in emulation pretty much, which is very clever. But yeah, this one hasn't been composite modded, so this one is still outputting radio. This one's still making out that it's a TV station. So what we need to do is we need to change a couple of cables on the desk, which I'm going to do whilst trying not to bonk into the camera. So we need this cable here, which is an antenna cable. This is what antenna cables look like in the UK, incidentally. Screw that in there. Get the power supply. Where's the TV remote? There it is there. So we need to change the source to TV. Flip it on. And you should, after a couple of seconds, get a very yellowy looking, like that. You're going to get a very yellowy looking, like, coloured screen. And look how soft it is compared to the screen we had earlier. Because that's the difference between a video interface and a radio interface. But okay, what we're going to do is I've got an excuse to use my oscilloscope now. Hey, any excuse to use my oscilloscope game. Switch them on, wait for it to boot because it's a computer in its own right. Okay. Let me get the keyboard for my computer out because I need that. I've got to refer to some instructions now because, you know, Andrew's following instructions, which is unlike him. What's the thing? 10 microseconds. Okay. 10 microseconds. Let's start off there, see how we get on. Okay. So what we're going to do. Hey, hi, Mum. we're getting on the oscilloscope now. I haven't used an oscilloscope on stream for ever. Okay. So the instructions I've got tell me that if I pop my oscilloscope probes, everybody likes the word probe, don't they? Right, so we attach the oscilloscope to ground. There, come on now, clip on, you bastard. There we are. Right. It's flatlining. Clear. Oi, look at you. You're a noisy wee man. Spectrum did not like that at all, did it? Yoink. Zoinks, gang. Look at you. You aren't the signal I was expecting to see at all. Am I going to have to do this by hand? I think I might have to. Let's just play with some settings. Look at it go. Look at it go. Whoa, that does not want to behave itself at all. Hang on, now we're getting somewhere. Have I crashed my scope? I think I've crashed my scope. No, I haven't. Soup's ready. Hey! I think I've crashed my scope. Hang on, let me reboot it for a sec. I love it when they're basically computers. It's terrible that this is a more powerful computer than the computer it's connecting to. Let's try to really calm that down. See if I can see what's happening here. You are a grumpy bee man. Hey, there we go. There's a video signal. Oh, that's bad-tempered. Look at that. Whoa. Whoa, children. This is how I haven't wrote their music yet. You're a grumpy guy. You're a grumpy guy. What's eating you? Who's hurt you? Eh? Just cycle the power on the spectrum. Whoa, look at all those residuals. Oh. Oh. What? No, that's not helping. Let's compare that with what he should look like. Oh, it doesn't look anything like that at all. Okay. Let's give... Which do we change first? VR1 and VR2. The skeleton potentiometers. Yeah, okay, I see them. Okay, VR1 and VR2 on the PCB. Lovely ULA. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's put that to one side for a minute because I feel like that's not helping. Let's... Yes, power you down. What it should look like is basically a like a straight line, then like a little trench, and then another straight line. If that helps you imagine it. I'm going to do it a very old-fashioned way, and I'm just going to give this a tweak. Let's have a look. Oh, hang on. Right, okay, if it's blue, we've gone too far, because then it thinks it's a CCAM signal. It thinks we've suddenly gone over to our French friends. Let's have a quick look. What does it think? Oh, it doesn't tell me what it thinks the signal is. That's fine. That's fine. Issue 2s are legendarily grumpy about their video signal. What's this? Can I? It is already on the ultra wide. Boing. Right, okay. Let's move that slightly up there so you can keep it in shot. Okay. So what we're doing is we're very slowly turning and watching for improvements. Yeah, this might not be a thing I can fix on stream. What I'm looking for is it just to chill out. This is why whenever you open a spectrum, you're like, oh, it's an issue 2. Oh dear. Because issue 2 boards are legendary for this. It's a bit like that old game of Masterminds. You're just sort of like continue. Ooh! Hey, there we go, found it. You're just trying to look for the sweet spot between these two potentiometers here. We found it. There it is. There she blows. White video output. Nice, nice. I've got another issue 2 board somewhere upstairs that's very bad tempered. At least this one's reasonably cooperative. The other one I've got is just a real open spectrum. Do you not do that regularly? I mean, I've opened 4 spectrums this week. We call that Tuesday. Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell you what then, should we push our luck and put a composite mod in this, and then we can say we've accomplished things. Let's do that. And then I can say goodbye then. And I can sleep well knowing I've made a difference to mankind, or whatever the thing is. Gotta be a bit careful with these, because you don't want to break any of these wires. Also I tell you what though, in that short amount of time, this heatsink got warm. Ooh, grot. Okay, so for this mod, we are going to need, wiggle that out, saute bok choy. I'm still on the fence about bok choy and cabbage related stuff. Like, I can see how it's rich in big things and all that, but I think it might not be my scene. So yeah, keep that. Oh, this means I've got to plug the threatening desoldering tool back in. Oh no, hang on a minute. Let me go fetch it. Okay. Plug this grumpy buzzy boy back in. Okay. So yeah, what we're going to do to get the modulator off this is we need to cut. Can you see that? Is it going to focus? Yeah, cut those 2 wires. So we need to cut that wire there and that wire there. And then we need to unsolder this point and that point there, which looks like it has some sort of like NATO solder mounting applied to it. Which is going to be good. Which is going to be good because all of that's lead. Because then we can do a little modification on it and it should output nice clean video. So we'll snip these 2 wires. That's the 5-volt power wire and that's the composite video wire. So that's your 2 wires cut. Let's just remove those because we don't need either of those wires now. You see. Hearty soup. I like a hearty soup. The only problem I get with like a really, really hearty soup is I can't cope with chunky soup. Chunky soup flips me out a bit. Doink. I burnt my hand, but that's fine. In 1. Okay, that's good. Little bit, where did I put the braid? There. Stick blender. Yeah, hells yeah. We had a stick blender, but a little while ago we went to a like big benchtop BFB and never looked back. Stick blenders are great, but if you've got a BFB, your life is like suddenly big friendly blender. You know, one of those. tiny food processor, yeah. I always find food processors need quite a lot of upkeep, though. Like, food processors are great, but after a while, you've got like, oh, now I need to clean that bit and that and that thing there, and that needs to be cleaned. And in the end, you're just like, this is more work than just chopping stuff up. Small processor. Let's tighten that up for a minute, because rather that heatsink didn't move. Oh, okay. I think you can get low maintenance ones. It is possible to get like... We hot? Yeah, we're hot. Do you want to melt? Or do you need more heat? Blades in a bowl. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the ones that sort of like are just, as you say, just like blades in a bowl are better than the ones that you can sort of like push carrots in from above and all of that sort of shenanigans. Because that sort of thing just feels like you're just going to be... There are too many things to clean, too much... That's not hot enough yet. Let's just renew it a little bit while we're here. Bosch, yeah, but in fairness, I don't think Bosch make bad products, do they really? I mean, I think all the Bosch things I've had have been great. Oh yeah, look at that. Did someone's dad work at the solder factory or something? That's more solder than connector. God blimey. Cripes, mate. Etc. That's going to take decades to unsolder. What on earth? Look at it. Zoinks. Oh, okay, all the bits go in the dishwasher, all the bits fit on the rotating spindle. Brilliant. Oh, okay, that one wants to unsolder, but this one doesn't want to unsolder. This one's a big, grumpy, splatty boy. Aren't you, eh? Who did this to you, and why? My god. My god. Yeah, I think we had a stick blender once, but I think some sexy genius might have blown the motor out on it. I can't remember. Oh, that does not want to come undone. My God. Okay. You don't want to play fair? That's fine. You new tiny scissors. Ooh. Oh, when you get a good pair of scissors, there, it's so great. How nice it is when you got like a really good pair of scissors. Oh, that does not want to come unsoldered. I've got the braid stuck in it now. Oh no. I know this seems weird, but sometimes when you add solder to solder, you can get it to melt quicker. I promise this method in my madness. I remember a while ago I bought a pair of very niche scissors. I bought a pair of scissors that are specifically for cutting tiny little skin tags off the corners of your hands and fingernails. They're basically like a pair of tweezers, but with scissor edges. And they stop you doing the nervous fingernail peeling thing. They're excellent. And I'm very pleased with them. Even though I have cut myself with them a couple of times. Pocket a big solder. Yeah, like someone's da worked at the solder factory, because this is outrageous. This is there's pints of solder on this. Absolutely, liters of solder. The thing is though, this has been wave soldered, so this has been like flow soldered, so. Oh, the squeaky noise it makes as well. Oh, I really dislike this soldering gun. It's aggro, and I don't like aggro tools. Right, let's have a little fiddle with that modulator. No, she's now almost too hot to touch. Murder Church. Yeah, I tell you what, Paul, you're not far off, mate. It's shocking the amount of solder that's on this. Unforeseen amounts of solder. Bruv. Yeah, there we go. That's one out. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Do you want to wiggle, wiggle? Yes. Do you have a Twitch prize? This is thrilling, Teddy, isn't it? Man slowly unsolders object. Ow, ow, ow. Ah, that's very hot. There we are. Success. Oh, and it's cleaned the holes nicely. Hold it up to the light. Yes, lovely. There we go. I like the way they put like ZX Spectrum thing underneath it. And despite the fact that no one's ever going to see that. That's really hot. Okay. So what we need to do now is we need to coax the bottom off. Like that. Cardboard base this time. Normally the base of that is like a thin piece of plastic. So now what we need to do is we need to remove the solder from these points, and we can take this little board out. Be careful, Widow. Yep. There you go. That's how it should go. That's what it should be like. That's what life with a big desoldering tool should be like. Like that. That's where it's supposed to go. That one. This one here. Ow, ow, ow. Yes, I know. I've got my finger quite close to it. Thank you. I know people who use stripping tape. I know modders who use tape. Okay. Ooh, plate. Ooh, can you do plate nails? Blimey. The other good thing about these blue mats is they're heat resistant because they're silicone. So you can just like scrunch the soldering iron right up against it. Just like, yeah, get in there with the soldering iron. Get in there. Punish it. Show it who's boss. And it just doesn't melt. That one? That one again? Oh, okay. Ooh, okay. Right, let's have a little pokey with this. Let's wait for it to cool down a second before we have a little pokey with that. Put it this side of the fan for a minute. Try and cool it down. Okay. Oh, this one's quite a tight fit. Somebody cared about tolerances with this one. Curse them. Okay. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-doop-doop. Oh wow, really? Isn't that really distracting? That feels like that would be like super distracting to me. Oh God, that's hot. There we go. Now we're getting it. Now we've got it on the run. You and your dad with the soldering company. That one. See, none of this is keeping. Other than the metal box, we're not keeping any of this. So we can just sort of like, we can give it a little irrit and it won't make any difference. Super distracting. Yeah, I feel like it would be like just maximally distracting. Just like, I can't. Sorry, I can't have this phone call. I'm aware of my own fingernails. I'd like to stop and help, but I'm afraid I've recently become aware of my own fingernails. I need a better screwdriver than that. Well done, Barry. Drop the soldering iron. Why not? Why not drop the soldering iron? Right. Here we go. Here we go. We're in. How many more times am I going to burn my hand? You should bet your channel points. How many more times is Barry going to burn his hand? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now we're getting it. This one's not going to come out in one piece because people are watching. Where are my good pliers? Oh, there they are. Yes. Out you come. Out you come. Playtime is over for you. Like that. Oh, right, there. Oh, God, that took ages. Right. Chuck that. There is fragments of resistor still stuck to that. Right, there we go. There we go. Let's move that out of the way so we can see what we're doing. I bet 4,000 quattros on the newcomer. Oh, crunchy boy. You're a crunchy man. No, you're a crunchy boy. Right. Quick squishy clean up on that. Clean up on aisle 2. There we are. That's fine. Snip that power connector there. Right. That's it. That's all we need of that modulator box. What we do is we flatten those two legs. Make sure it's still reasonably square. Then we'll put the base back on it. Then we'll put the base back on it. Even though we don't need to. You don't really need to put this back on at all. But I always do because I think it looks nicer. Right, quick clean of the workbench. Get all the big blobs of solder off it because solder conducts electricity. Okay, good. Touch the magic nut a couple of times. Okay, so we're back here. What we do now is we sit this back on the board. Poke it back through the holes. Yes, 1, 2. Yeah, that looks good. That looks all right. And then we resolder these 2 lugs back on. So we can also, here's the point. Yeah, that is the point. Yeah, that is the... But, you know, you'd be surprised the number of times I've been caught out and, like, left blobs of solder on my workbench and gone, oh, yeah, of course, yeah, I know that now. So let's replace the solder on here with nice modern day bright solder. So next Saturday, gang, we'll be putting together a gingerbread house. I've got a gingerbread house. It's like think of it as like an edible jigsaw puzzle. If you want to. It's a jigsaw puzzle I can eat at the end. I felt a bit... Oh, brilliant. I felt a little bit cheated when I bought the thing because it was just like, gingerbread house kit. Like, okay. And it's like, oh, you also need the icing that is glue and the icing to decorate it, all sold separately. Just like, oh, yeah, cheers, thanks. Thanks, everybody. There's so much old solder there that I'm really scrunching on new stuff in a desperate attempt to get it to flow. That is crazy. Might even turn the soldering iron up a bit, actually. Thick powdered sugar icing. Oh, right, brilliant. Okay. So what we need to do now, you clean all that gunky solder off the iron, get the meter out, put on continuity, beep, beep, beep. So now I should be able to put that on there and touch anything that's ground. Yep, so that's good. So I know that now has a good ground because I can do that and that. Or get continuity. So I know that's installed correctly. Royal icing. Okay, I've heard of that. I thought royal icing was the stuff that you had to roll out. Did I misread that? I always thought royal icing was the stuff that came on big sheets. And now we've got to put a capacitor in there, and we're done. Freehand. Oh, blimey. Right. So what we've got here is a, he said, trying to angle it the right way around, like that, is a 100 microfarad 16 volt capacitor. We're going to put that here. Oh, okay. Fondant's the sheet. Right. Oh, okay. Fondant in the sheet. Oh, no. So what we'll do is we'll bend that one like this, because that leg's got to go in the circuit board. That leg's got to go in there. But this leg's got to go in there. We're on the home straight now, gang. We're on the home straight now. You see, I'll plug this in and it won't work, and I will go insane. And my... Yep, you thought you go a bendy, did you? Right? Yeah, okay. Go a bendy, I dare you. Like that. Is it made with that? Lord. Like that. So we'll give that a little bendy bend. And then we'll coax this cable in. Wait, don't do that. In here. Into the hole where the video connector used to go. Like this. Just like that. And then what we'll do is we'll bend that over the connector, because we've been a dimwit and haven't brought it in through the hole. But that's okay. That's fine. The original wasn't brought in through the hole, so like that. There we go. Gelatin. Ugh. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I didn't check that the gingerbread house thing was vegetarian. I'm sure it was. It's gingerbread, surely. There we go. Little flashlight in there so you can see it better. Like that. So that's our video mod done. Quickly sanity check our work. It's not touching anything bad. It's connected there. The negative goes in. And onto the phono connection there. Good! Of course, the smart money would have been to clean this up before I put it back on the board, but let's gloss over that. There we go, that's a bit better. Right. Let's plug him in, but this time using... Gingerbread may have milk and egg, but anything more than that. Brilliant. Tar. I'll check the ingredients before I commit to eating it. Well, I suppose I can still make it, I just can't eat it. There's no point making a big biscuit if you're not going to eat the big biscuit. I mean, honestly. Okay, so we need, this time it's composite video. We need Spectrum power. We need the TV remote control that I put somewhere there. So we go source, SCART, like that, like that. Now hopefully, I've never done this on an issue 2, so fingers crossed. Hey, there we are. Tidy, crisp, composite video. Put the capacitors away. Oh, I'm pleased with that. Oh, I'm pleased with that. Let's put this one back in its original housing with its original keyboard. Because I don't have, as I say, I don't have the voltage regulator for it. And I don't have the, I don't have a new keyboard membrane for it. But we can put the little Little cover back on the modulator there. Look. We're not going to screw it together because that's how we roll. Right, here's the original. Here's this computer's original top. A little bit cruddy, but I'm not going to hold that against it. It's honest. It's been around. How long have I been doing this kind of thing? All my life. I was one of those kids who would take things apart to learn how they work, and in my case, how they used to work. It must have been tough living with me as a kid because I would, if it didn't move, I would take it apart. I'm just one of those, like, you know, mechanically curious types. They're just like, yeah, what does make that go? How come that works and this doesn't? And that kind of thing. Right, so that's that one back together again. Can we ask Mrs. B? Yeah. Right, keyboard work? Hey, the keyboard works. The old keyboard does actually work. So let's go randomize USR 1302. There we go. Switch that off. We can switch that off. There we go. Gang. Carriage clocks and music. Yeah, totally. I used to have a thing where I would fix my nan's clocks. That back porch on that is a bit wonky. Oh no, it's okay once it's in Yeah, my nana always used to give me her clocks to fix, and I would take them apart, oil them, and adjust them, and put them back together again, and that kind of thing. That was very much my jam when I was a kid. Gang, we've made 2 Spectrums today. We have made two Spectrums. This one who still needs a bit of loving, but works, and one completely nice new one. So yeah, here are 2 profits of our labour today. These 2. I'm very pleased with that. God, look at the difference between a clean one and a grubby one, though. Woo! You need a lot of loving, my friend. You need to get on his level. Splendid. I'm pleased with that. That went okay. This needs everything cleaning and maybe replacing. I might replace this, actually. I don't know. Gang, I'm going to go. I think that's a good stream. That's a good place to end the stream. Cheers for your company today. It's been lovely seeing you and seeing all your names and chatting and things. Thanks for everything. Thanks for coming. Thanks for sticking with me and my unbelievable nerdiness. So Monday, I'm back at work on Monday. So the bird feeder stream as usual, and we'll do some bench chat, assuming it's, you know, positive temperatures anywhere. And so nerdy. Gang, stay safe, yeah? Remain lovely. Get yourself a big glass of water later on. Be aware of your posture. Relax your neck. And I will catch you on Monday. Bye for now.